It's 18 minutes to 6, Drive-Time Confessions, and this appears to be an anonymous tale. I'm not sure it was originally, but maybe the producer realised who it was from and took their name from it. Dear Father Simon and his holy order, for some time now I've listened to guilty consciences being relieved by confessing all, and now I fear my time has come to request a pardon. Much of my childhood was spent travelling continents to far-flung parts of the world due to my parents working as missionaries. Now, instantly, I'm thinking, we're into new territory now. It's our first ever missionaries confession. Well, child of a missionary. It doesn't quite count, because they're probably rebels. One such trip in 1987 took us to a missionary ship, covering some hard-working missionaries on a ship travelling around Africa and Asia, selling books and passing on the good news. This ship was home to some 350 people from 49 different nations. Quite an experience, as all 350 people attempted to get on with each other, living in very close proximity. An enriching experience, as I'm sure you can imagine. At the time of us going there, I was 11. My siblings and I duly joined the other children of families on the ship and had to attend the school on board, much to our disappointment. When the ship was on a voyage, things tended to be more relaxed, but in port it would attract dignitaries from whichever country we were in, and the ship would open its doors to thousands of people who would come to browse the floating bookshop. Whilst in the port of Bombay, now Mumbai, the purser of the ship decided that it would be a good idea to get the carpets in the main dining room cleaned in readiness for one of said dignitaries' visits. This type of deep clean and shampoo of the carpets was not a regular occurrence due to the expense and logistics involved, so we were all given advanced warning and told that on the appointed day, meals in the main dining room would still go ahead, but at the lunchtime and evening meals we would have to proceed into the dining room without our shoes. We had to be shoeless for the whole meal so as not to dirty the newly shampooed carpet. On clean carpet day, we attended classes as usual, and then we were released for lunchtime and headed to the dining room for our lunch. What an array of shoes were lined up outside the door, all 350 pairs of shoes. We ate our food like good children and had arranged to meet up after lunch for some serious playing. Our meeting point was outside the main dining room door by the stairs. As we stood there, our shoes firmly back on our feet, my sinful nature came to the fore, even as a child of missionaries. I convinced the younger posse, wouldn't it be funny to push all of the remaining 340 neatly lined up pairs of shoes down all the flights of stairs that we could find on the ship. So we set about our task with amazing deftness, managed to push, throw and topple every last shoe down the stairs within minutes of the idea being planted. Each projectile was launched with a cheer and landed with a rubbery thud. A shoe mountain had formed. Piles and piles of them, jumbled and assorted. As people finished their dinner, confusion reigned, and our very own version of the Tower of Babel ensued as 340 people from 49 different nations became more and more fraught in search of their matching pair of shoes. I ask forgiveness of the 340 people who spent the best part of the rest of the day trying to find their shoes. Indeed, many of them abandoned their search as they had to return to their work for the afternoon completely shoeless. Some went with mixed pairs, differing sizes and styles. You could spot people hobbling the next day as they tried to make the most of their new footwear. Some came with boots and left in brogues. Some came in high heels and left in pumps. I would like especially to apologise to Eduardo, the Brazilian, who still hadn't found his by supper time the following day, and also to Philip, who had to wear girls' shoes for the rest of the week. I also apologise to the purser for upsetting his best-laid plans, and I'm deeply sorry for leading my schoolmates astray. Father Simon and the Holy Order, I beseech you to pardon me. And this, from a missionary's child. You would, no wonder the world is in such a state. Anyway, it's the first ever missionary-based confession. What do we say, Sister Rebecca?
Well, poor Philip having to wear girls' shoes all week. That's terrible.
And Eduardo lost people. They were, one pink shoe, one blue shoe. Very confusing.
I never actually knew that missionary ships existed. I mean, what a great setting for something like a sitcom. 350 people from different countries trying to get on with each other.
Well, I thought you were going to say, what a great place to stage a murder.
Well, that too, possibly.
That would have been another confession involving the law.
I thought that the shoes were going to be thrown overboard, actually, so it wasn't nearly as bad as I'd expected, that they were just pushed down to the bottom of the stairs, forming this shoe mountain.
A shoe mountain, yes.
And I think that it was just too tempting for any child seeing the shoes there. I think most children would have done the same thing. So
that's a big pile of shoes as well. You imagine how long it's going to take you to chuck 350 shoes.
They're just on the boat. What else are they doing apart? I mean, they've got time to look for their shoes. I think no long-term harm done, and Anonymous, you're completely forgiven.
I think if we ask, by the way, for confessions from the children of missionaries, we will be surprised by what we get. Anyway,
Do you think so?
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
We might get nothing, in which case we will be surprised. Mother Superior.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about this, really, because it's not a terrible thing that they did, is it? But I think I'm just trying to put myself in the position of, had I been invited on this ship, asked to take my shoes off and then gone to leave, with a certain amount of grace and dignity, having to then rifle through...
if you spent a fortune on a nice pair of shoes and then you went home wearing Matt's flip-flops, imagine.
What? Please, no. Oh, gosh.
And maybe pick up his verrucas and all that stuff.
And any other disease that you care to mention.
Foot health is very important.
Are
you saying it doesn't matter?
No, I'm saying it matters a lot.
Well, in which case, I think you know which way to vote.
Are you hurrying me along, Mr. Mayo? In that case, I don't know. This is a tricky one. I would say I won't forgive, simply because I think Matt will forgive, and Rebecca already has, so I haven't got a chance anyway. But I would not forgive.
Okay.
Well thought out.
Myself now. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, that's fair enough. Okay, brother.
Does it not say in the good book, if someone should take thine brogues, they shall spend the rest of the time in thy flip-flops? I think it does. I think I don't stand corrected on that.
You a brogue.
And for that, I am going to forgive.